Good morning, ultimate hustlers and digital empire builders. It is that time for the Cortez Hustle Show. And today we got a wonderful show lined up for you. We're talking about for the culture, man, how to make a dollar and make a difference at the exact same time. Yes, you can use your gifts, talents, and special abilities to serve the community and make it make dollars and make it make sense. And I got a special guest lined up for us today, Miss Dees Willis from Heavenly Host LLC is going to be joining us and explaining exactly how she's doing that very thing, building up the community, building a legacy financially and with activism for herself at the exact same time. So do me a huge favor, comment in the chat where you're from, drop the name of your business and or your brand, and smash that share button, ladies and gentlemen, and let's kick it. Yo, what's up, ultimate hustlers, and welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show, the business podcast for the entrepreneur of the 21st century. And I'm your host, Cortez Hustle. Our goal is to give you a behind-the-scenes look at how the world's greatest hustlers build amazing brands, scale their businesses to incredible heights, sell more, make more, and create mass movements that impact the world. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned vet or you're sitting on the sidelines with aspirations to one day unleash your inner hustle. This show will provide the insights into how pure grit, determination, and hard work has morphed into some of the most iconic brands and personalities and how they are moving the culture forward. You'll get a mix of solo shows featuring yours truly, as well as interviews and content from other hustlers that I either know personally or I've learned from or whose grind I've come to know and respect. And you'll also get exclusive recordings from our membership called Monetize My Life Academy, which you can check out at monetizemylifeacademy.com. That's a program where we go live every month with some of the best hustlers on the planet, sharing best practices on how we all can explode our brands with advanced branding and marketing tactics, business development strategies, and financial game planning necessary to build the empires we all desire. Again, that's at monetizemylifeacademy.com. If you like today's episode, chances are the hustlers you're connected to will like it as well. Share it with those in your network, and when you do, use hashtag Cortez Hustle so I can see you and hopefully give you a shout out and share you in my stories. So check out today's episode and make sure you subscribe to the feed on your favorite podcasting networks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show. I'm, of course, your host, Cortez Hustle, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur, coming to you live and direct from the Black Bear Success Mastermind Studios right here in St. Louis, Missouri. If you have not already joined the Black Bear Success Mastermind, where we bring Black excellence to the forefront as we pursue our mission to help Black people become the #1 employers of Black people by focusing on entrepreneurship, financial literacy, and community development. You can do so by texting keyword mastermind to 314-866-4053. Today, we're talking about how to make a dollar and a difference at the same time. How do we move the culture forward with our gifts, talents, and special abilities? I'm going to be bringing up Dees Willis of Heavenly Host LLC in a minute, but y'all know how we do it, man. I got to give a couple announcements, and then we'll get into the quote of the day. So, our announcements. I'm still looking for volunteer opportunities in the St. Louis metro area to be hands-on. I want to actually come to some facilities and help where I can. Also, virtual volunteership from my company's perspective. If you know a nonprofit or a local church that needs some help, maybe with, I don't know, their website, or maybe just sharing some messages or helping them put some programs together. I don't know, whatever we can do in the digital marketing space, maybe some social media management. I'm willing to offer some of my services for free to local nonprofits as well. Shout out to my girl, Bianca Shante. She actually reached out just the other day, and I have officially adopted a veteran for this holiday season. So I'll be doing some Christmas shopping this weekend for my veteran friend that I just adopted. And they also asked me to come in and do a nice prayer and share some words of encouragement with the vet. So I'm super excited. Nothing gives me more joy than being able to serve with my gifts to help others in need. Also, if you're a coach, consultant, or author, the Black Biz Success app is for you. If you bring your product or your project to the Black Biz Success app, I will actually build you a sales funnel for free. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, the Black Biz Success app is the premier sales and marketing platform for solopreneurs and small businesses. It is literally like hiring an admin team and a sales force for $97 a month. Definitely want to check that out if you have not already done so. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it is time. I ran across this young lady's page as I was doing my research. I'm always looking for guests to be on the show. I'm always looking for other entrepreneurs who are doing amazing things. And I ran across Heavenly Host LLC, Miss Dees Willis. And when I reached out to her, she said something very, very important to me. She said, listen, if we're going to make a partnership or any sort of connection, everything that I do is for the culture. And I was like, my man. And we are kindred spirits. So it does me a great deal of honor and pleasure to bring to the stage Miss Dees Willis. Good morning, Queen. How are you today?
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I am extremely well. Glad to have you on the program today. Super excited about what it is that you are bringing to the table, all of the things that you're doing, using all of your gifts and talents. I read your bio. I'm like, man, this lady does everything. And she does everything well. But before we get into that, I like to start the show with a quote of the day. So today's quote for me, and basically what the quote of the day is, I share a quote, usually something that I've heard as I'm doing my workout in the morning, my prayer, my meditation. I'm listening to motivational stuff, and something usually punches me in the gut, and I share that. So you can either comment on this quote, or you can share one of your own favorite quotes as well. But today's quote says this from Tony Robbins: focus equals feeling. What you focus on, you're going to feel, even if it's not true. Focus equals feeling. What you focus on, you're going to feel, even if it's not true. By Tony Robbins. Ladies and gentlemen, you better make sure that you are intentional with what you focus on. Seek and ye shall find. You want to comment on that quote, or do you want to share one of your favorite quotes, Steve?
That one hit me in the gut as well. Oh man, and then we get so frustrated when what we were focused on isn't true.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. I'm gonna keep that.
Good. Yeah, you literally will bring stuff into your life just by focusing on it. And I don't know if everybody gets that. More people need to pay attention to that. You focus on negativity, you're going to bring negativity into your life. You focus on positivity, you're going to bring positivity into your life. And we've all been there. Focus on the wrong thing, focus on something that wasn't even true. And then we end up having to pick our face up off the ground, right?
Man.
Not a good feeling, but true nonetheless. And that is the quote of the day right here on the Cortez Social Show, brought to you by my good friend Bob Crane. And if you need financial or tax planning services, my boy Bob Crane can help you with that. Comment keyword taxes, and I will put you in touch with Bob. He's got a great program where he literally helps you increase your paycheck. He literally helps you take the money that you save from taxes and start investing and growing that. So if you need help with taxes or growing your tax savings, then my man Bob Crane is your guy. Just comment keyword taxes, and I'll get you his contact information there. So Dee, everybody who comes on the show, I ask them this one very, very important question. Who the heck are you?
Well, I'm Dee. I go by Dee. My name is actually DeJhon. But you can call me Dee, Heavenly Hostess, or anything. And what do? I do what people are afraid to do. Help. Limitless, full support, help. Equitable, help.
Wow.
That's what I do.
Love it. All right, that's what you do, but who are you? Where you from? All that good stuff.
I am from Louisiana. I currently, for the last 20 years, I've been calling Ohio, specifically Columbus, Ohio, home.
Okay.
Go Michigan.
All right.
a mother of two. I have a teen and a toddler, so I'm on
Okay.
two different ends of the spectrum,
Yeah.
navigating this thing we call life.
Love it.
That's
Love it.
who I am.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And what led you from Louisiana to Ohio?
Oh, I was a teen. I had no say because I honestly would not. It was my parents.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. All right. Cool. 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 So Ohio, how often you get a chance to get back to Louisiana? What part of Louisiana?
Houma. Houma would be the gum at the bottom of the boot. It is the bayou towns. So
Mm,
not a lot of people have heard of it, but it's like Black Mayberry.
really? Okay.
Yeah, it's
Interesting.
like
Houma, Louisiana.
Houma, yes.
I'm gonna have to look that up, man. That's interesting.
Uh,
Um, man, the Black Mayberry. Okay, okay, I can get with
that's
that,
what
man.
it
I
was
like
when I
slow.
was there.
I like
That's
slow,
what it
chill.
was.
Everybody knows everybody. Everybody looks out for everybody, man.
Yes.
That's my kind of town right there.
I I will say professionally, the way we look out for each other down there,
Hmm.
I'm hoping to bring that here.
Gotcha,
It's
gotcha.
beautiful to see.
Love it, love it, love it. So you do a lot of things and wear a lot of hats. Let's talk about your journey long before you got into entrepreneurship. How did that go? Got out of school, did your thing? Did you go to college? That kind of stuff. What was the progression for a young Dee Willis as she begrudgingly has to start building a life in Ohio, right? What was it like?
Well, oddly enough, I stayed in Ohio because I had a baby.
Mhm.
So after high school, I had to go to college. I had to
Okay.
balance the college work thing and try to navigate it. I will say it was way simpler back then. I feel bad for anybody coming into adulthood now
Mm,
because
mm,
it's not what it was. But just had a baby, navigated life, worked as several different things. Like I worked as a preschool teacher, infant teacher, a daycare administrator, um, a cashier, a manager. Like I
mm,
wore all these hats, but I had a one issue with always being in the workforce. I resented working hard to make somebody else look good.
mm, mm.
Like
Gotcha.
I'm tilling somebody else's soil and they reaping the benefits of the crop.
Yeah.
And I don't
Yeah.
even get a pat on the back. And that always bothered me.
Mm. Yeah. That is something that bothers so many people in the corporate space. And so you were doing your thing as a young mom, just making it work, making it do what it do, work, school, whatever you got to do to make ends meet, jobs, wherever they come, wherever they may. I like that roll up your sleeve and get to work attitude. Is that something that your parents instilled in you?
Yeah. My mom is a pastor and my dad is a master sergeant. So
Okay,
yeah, it's no
so
slacking. It's yeah. Look,
wow,
I made some childish decisions, but I knew how to be an adult when it was time to be an adult. So
gotcha, gotcha. And what's it like growing up as a pastor's kid? My mom's a minister as well. Maybe that's why we connected as well. But what was life like growing up as the son of a pastor? And so you got your spiritual discipline, and then your dad's a master sergeant. So you got your discipline from that strict military type discipline. How did you balance the two? How did you manage?
um I'll be honest, I was raised Southern Apostolic and they have like as far as women, you feel me? I was always considered rebellious because I
Mhm.
don't have a docile spirit. I'm
Mhm.
not a turn the other cheek kind of person.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So it it caused friction in the South, but in the Midwest, it served me well.
Okay.
I was made in Louisiana, but I was kind of built for Ohio.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So that willingness to speak your mind, stand up for yourself, and take charge when necessary. So that served you in the Midwest. So after you got moving through, college and getting the first baby kind of, together, and you kind of start figuring life out, did you ever settle into one job or one career field long term?
I was like, I want to say I was always the support to management.
Okay.
Like any position I came in, I could have came in as just a floating teacher. Somehow I end up helping with the management side of things. Now, granted, I'm still paid. We're still being paid what what I was paid, but I always ended up doing management work.
Yeah, and that doesn't feel good. Like I'm the boss, but I'm not getting paid like a boss, right? The boss is coming to me and asking me for suggestions and to solve problems, but I'm not getting paid like the boss, and not even getting the credit that I deserve for doing what it is that I do. That leads me to this other question. I always ask, especially Black women when they come on the show, the overall experience in corporate. I don't know what kind of institutions you work for, but I'm trying to get at the overall experience and document the experience of Black women in the workforce, whether you work for a white company, Black company. I believe there's a reason that Black women are the fastest growing leg of entrepreneurs in the world. So what was your experience working in corporate America? Do you have the challenges, like some of my guests have said, of being seen and not being able to be yourself? Did you have any issues with code switching, any of that kind of stuff?
I'll say this. Just from like this, I was due for a management job and they passed me over for a younger male who I had trained. They didn't offer me the job, and they said the only difference was I wasn't driving at the time. The crazy thing is, I helped him get his license. They knew all of these things. Like, I will say this, and it's hurtful to have to say, but when it comes down to being corporate, being a man sometimes supersedes you men being my brother. And it's hurtful because, when I came to my most recent, when I left my most recent job, this is pre-pandemic, sorry. And I came in, the workforce they had, I was third shift, it was younger Black males. They said, hey, I need you to come in, whip them in the shape. That's fine, you feel me? But I didn't come at them crazy. I showed them compassion as my brothers, you know what I mean? And they grew and they got better and they were supportive and we were coordinated. And then when the opportunity for better or to get ahead came, it was like I never did anything.
Wow.
And I will say, again, it's a double damn when it comes to corporate, because no matter how I help you, I come into it and I can see you as my brother. But when the opportunity for better comes, you're not gonna, sometimes, rarely do you get suggested properly. Rarely are the doors held open for you, even if you pick the lock for them.
Wow. Yeah.
So, and I'm not saying that's all Black men. I'm just saying, in my experience, especially the higher the wage or the higher the come up, it can be like, if it's a 50-cent raise, they'll throw you under the bus. If it's a $2 raise, they'll throw you under the bus. So I can only imagine what's going on in boardrooms. I'm only speaking from lower middle level,
Gotcha.
So that's my experience.
Yeah, and was that one of the driving factors that made you say, you know what, not only do I want to get out and do my own thing, but I also want to help other people who may be in similar positions?
That's what made me turn who I was as a person into me as a professional. That's why the name is a wordplay. People think Heavenly Host and they automatically think the angels are calling. No, I'm going to host you heavenly.
Gotcha.
I'm going to be a gracious host at all times, no matter what I'm hosting you at.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But make no mistake, it can be hell on wheels. You
Gotcha.
know, like
Gotcha.
gotta, you know what I mean? Like, don't do that. We gonna be gracious with each other. And that's, you know.
Yeah, and I love that. And the second book that I wrote is called Monetize My Life: 4 Incredibly Simple Ways to Turn Your Passions into Profit with Little to No Startup Costs, right? And I believe wholeheartedly in the fact that every one of us has a special gift or talent that God gave us for free. And now, if you're born in the 21st century, you also have the tools and the resources to now deploy that gift globally and make it make money for you if you just have the ambition and the will. Because if you got a cell phone, you got some drive, you got a Wi-Fi or internet connection, it's on, baby.
It's on.
It's on and popping in the 21st century. So we're going to continue with Dee Willis and her story, talking a little bit more about what she does. But now it's time for my favorite segment of the show, 1 Minute Motivation. This is where we play a short motivational video, usually 60 to 90 seconds or so, Dee. And I'm just going to ask you to jot down or think about a takeaway, something that hits you that you want to speak on. And I'm going to give a takeaway as well. The audience usually comments a takeaway. Let us know what you hear in this edition of 1 Minute Motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show. Let's get it.
You can live the life you desire. It's right there in front of you. But in order to achieve it, you must first see it, then believe it, and then you must graciously ask and train your brain to help you execute your vision.
So when you start to focus and you delete distraction from your life and you start to get seriously invested in doing one thing staggeringly well, and you practice that one thing over and over, a term to think about is mundanity. You do one simple, seemingly insignificant thing every day around your main skill, and it's very mundane, but small daily improvements over time lead to world-class results. Well, here's what happens in your brain. You start to isolate a single neurocircuit around that skill, and that starts to trigger a certain type of brain cell called an oligodendrocyte, which then releases myelin. Myelin is a fatty tissue that starts to wrap around that single neurocircuit related to that main skill you've been practicing. And when myelin starts to wrap around the brain circuit, what happens is you have accelerated learning times, you can see more quickly, heightened perception, and you'll learn more quickly. And that is really the quote-unquote secret of the great producers. It's not a result of some natural gift, but their daily practice, their relentlessness and their grit, their work ethic, and their singular focus and sacrifice.
Ooh-wee. I don't know about you, T, but that right there fires me up. Here's why this is one of the favorite parts of my show. Because we all just listen to the same clip, but based on where we are in life, we all heard something different. So what did you hear, sis?
Man, it's, see it, believe it. If I can't see me there, nobody's going to believe I can make it there. I have to visualize it.
Yeah.
What'd you take from it? I'm sorry.
That's powerful. That's powerful. That was one of the first things I read. If you can, if you can see, right? A lot of times, the only reason we can't accomplish those things that we have set is because we can't see it. Like you said, if I can see myself winning, then I got a greater chance of winning, right? She also said, ask and train your brain to execute. Right? A lot of people don't understand the fact that your brain hates incompletion, and your brain, when you ask it questions, it will never stop searching the ends of the earth to find answers. So instead of saying, I can't, say, how can I? Because your brain will literally not stop until it finds a way And then you got to train your brain to execute, get out there and do, and not be afraid to fail. Then I love when the guy broke down the science behind greatness, right?
Man.
You create oleodendrocytes in your brain surrounded by myelin, and it makes everything easier for you, right? In athletics, I hear players talk about the game slowing down for them, right? Well, when you do something with a certain amount of repetition and you focus and I didn't know that there was a science, something that was literally happening in the brain that causes these guys to be great, the Kobe Bryants and that kind of thing. Did you have anything else?
And it's just, now that we know that practice makes perfect, like that, there's science behind practice makes perfect now.
There's the science. There's the science, man. There's the science.
I trust that science.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Did you have anything else before we move on?
No, sir, you got me.
All right. Good. Well, that is 1 Minute Motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, brought to you by the Black Biz Success Mastermind. It is where Black excellence lives for entrepreneurs. It is a group of like-minded individuals who are on a mission to help Black people become the #1 employers of Black people. And we do that by sharing best practices when it comes to entrepreneurship and business development, so we can all grow and scale, so we can hire more of our people, right? And hire them in a way that says, yes, come work for me, but also come learn the business, so that if you want to strike out on your own and do your own thing, then we are in full support of that. So text keyword mastermind to 314-866-4053 to get a special invite to join the mastermind. It is 100% free, by the way. And I forget to say that because some people think it costs money, and it should, because we literally give hundreds of dollars of free training and resources every single week to the members of our community. So text mastermind to 314-866-4053 to join the Black Biz Success Mastermind. Dee, we were talking before we went to 1 Minute Motivation about the experience that Black women are having in the workplace, on the job, and every levels of working for someone else, whether you're white collar, blue collar, it doesn't matter. Entry level, high level, there's always something. Did you ever have any issues with being yourself, right? Everybody has to code switch, whether you white, Black, Asian, where everybody has to code switch. When you go to certain environments, there's a certain expectation of how you should behave, right? But I think when it comes to us, that expectation is 10, 20, 30, sometimes 100 times higher or more intense, especially when it comes to things as simple as, can I wear a beard in the workplace? Can I wear my dreadlocks in the workplace? Did you ever experience any of that, or any reservations about letting your hair down, figuratively or literally, as you were moving through your corporate journey?
It's more I guess it would be the code switching, not really about my hair, because I wish somebody would. But the code switching, I find, and this is amongst my people and just situations, everybody thoroughly enjoys my vernacular, especially when I tell someone to behave themselves the way I do. But I found in my last job, it was okay when I was calling out my brothers and telling them to, and letting them pick up their weight. But when I said, hey, we're not here to do everyone else's job, it became an issue. I was insubordinate. But it wasn't, it wasn't it's I call it the classic Miss Millie syndrome. I always have an issue with people saying, oh, I understand. I have an issue with allies. Allies will kick a hornet's nest and hand you calamine lotion. An accomplice will tell you to stay away from the hornet's nest, or at least let you know where it is.
Right.
So it was a lot of that going. I won't say I had to code switch, but I had to know, okay, people are not going to allow me corporately to keep the same energy. So what I'm going to do is just my job. And that's ultimately what led to the separation.
Gotcha.
Me doing just my job to a T, to a science. You get it.
Yeah. But you can't do just your job. You got to do your job and part of 2 or 3 other people's jobs.
Their job
will not get fired for slacking, but you will get fired if you don't pick up their slack, even though you're doing what you're supposed to do. I get it, man. I get it. It's that way in corporate, and that's why I'm building a Black Biz Success Mastermind, so we can bring these kind of issues to the table and say, listen, we're building businesses that won't include this stuff. We're building businesses that won't be built around cliquish stuff, and so that everybody can feel a part of the program and a part of the mission and the vision. And it goes so far beyond just paying fair wages, right? You got to create the right culture in your business and your institutions, and that is critically important. So as you left that space, man, what was the first business endeavor? What was your first stab at entrepreneurship?
I actually started my business before I left. Okay. Yes. The first thing, my first stab at entrepreneurship, it's kind of odd because I got 2 things at once. I was like, before I left, and I think this is ultimately what kind of made them push me out the door. Okay. Yeah, I had, I was handing out my card, walking home from work, handing out my card in the shopping center by my house. And this guy said, "Hey, do you know anybody looking for a job?" I said, "Depends on what the job is." And he was a construction company, and he was looking for men to come help, just basically strip, gut a house. Gotcha. And he's like, "Hey, I'll pay them XYZ. They can, paid same day." Easy. My first endeavor as Heavenly Host was finding jobs for those men, and I got 10 men paid. Wow. Without asking for a dime. I did not get paid for that. That was my format for the first 365 days, not getting paid and seeing if I could and perfecting ways to do it. Gotcha. So you became a connector of sorts. Like, hey, somebody has an opportunity. Someone is looking for an opportunity, but they don't know this opportunity exists. So let me bridge that gap. And I've been doing it for a year, and it wasn't until recently that I kind of quantified it into that. Like the gift of gab, it was given. But yielding it the right way and motivating people, man, that's ethereal. That's not of this world. I got to say, that's a blessing, not of this world. Gotcha. I see Coach Henry Doris on. He says, "Awesome stuff. Appreciate you and the feedback." And it feels good because I know now you're realizing that, wait a minute, this is not something that I just did because the opportunity presented itself. This is something that I am just good at as well. Sorry, on the camera. And this is the part where a lot of people struggle to get to, is the place that says, okay, this is what I did, but I didn't necessarily do this because the opportunity presented itself. I did this because this is actually who I am. Is that what I'm hearing you say? You kind of like, this is who you are. Anyway, now you're finding ways to get paid for who you are. Absolutely. Nice. Absolutely. I love that. So those 10 men that you helped get into that construction job and they got paid and did some work, did you continue that relationship with the construction business owner? Actually, oops, sorry. I'm back. I'm sorry. Okay. Actually, you remember how I said Black, it happens where you help your brother and sometimes he doesn't see your value, or, you know, yeah, it kind of, we had to part ways. However, I like to say God's never allowed me to be curved by anything but a boomerang. I recently saw him again, and he was like, hey, I apologize.
Yeah.
You know, what you did for me, you know what I mean? It saved me a lot of money, and how can I procure your services? Well, then I didn't have contracts. It was good faith. Now I have contracts, and he's willing to pay. You know what I mean? So you got to be faithful, and you just focus on being your best you. Oof, that's it.
Man, that's a bar right there. That's a bar. Focus on being your best you.
That's it.
And things are going to work out. Things are going to work out. Glad to hear that that brother circled back. Sometimes we don't see the value in others and recognize the value in others. And, you know, relationships can tank, but they also can rebound as well. So good for you and that brother. I'm glad he came back with apologies and now is ready to do business with you. But also that's a testament to being consistent and keep going on the journey, because you could have been bitter and let that stop you. And there could not be a heavenly host for him to circle back to if you'd allowed that to make you quit. Right. So where do you get that determination and that perseverance from?
From maybes. I think it's the most hurtful thing in life for you to come in your time of need or extreme sadness, or just you seeking, for you to be seeking and for someone to tell you maybe. That is the most discourteous word in the English language. Tell me no so I can go seek elsewhere, or tell me yes, but don't make me ask you again. You know, that's what kept me going. There was so many maybes, and I had to wonder if people were really gonna have me. I recreated myself into not being a maybe person. And I created a business so that people would never have to wonder if the help is really coming. Yeah,
I love that.
So that's what kept me going. All those maybes. It wasn't the no's and it wasn't the yeses. It was those maybes that hurt me deep.
Talk about that recreation process. When you talk about recreating yourself, what did that look like? What did you have to go through? What did you have to do to recreate yourself into a yes or no person so that you're not issuing maybes?
You have to be sure of yourself. Like I'll be honest, it was a lot of cap when I first started. You know what I mean? Hey, I could do this, this, and this. I knew of it. I knew how to procure it, but did I know how to do it myself? Absolutely not. But that's the vagueness of being a consultant. You feel me? Sometimes I consult and I'm just giving direction to the person who can really help you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
It's I guess it's just wanting to do it.
Yeah. And I love that. And getting to a place where, like you said, being sure and certain. Tony Robbins has this talk that I listen to frequently where he says, you got to get to a place of certainty. And it is the person who is most certain that will influence the person who is not as certain. Right. And that's powerful. And I'm experiencing that in my own business with the Black Biz Success app and the things that I'm doing now and the whole shift. I'm really just redesigned my entire organization here in the last 30 days. And I'm so excited about it. But it did just that. It brought certainty to the mission. It brought certainty to what I am. But here's the kicker. It also brought certainty to what I am not. And it makes it easier for me to say no, because I'm not in that lane. That's not me, right? I just don't do that, right? So that's critically important. So let's talk a little bit about Heavenly Host LLC. You founded it and you kind of got it going. What are some of the primary services that you guys offer to Black businesses, to businesses in general? I know you don't just serve Black businesses, but what are some of the primary services that you guys are offering right now?
While I don't just serve Black businesses, I specifically cater or seek them out, I should say. I seek them out with intention. Now, if another business comes, of course, I will help them.
Yeah.
But I seek out Black businesses
Mm-hmm.
because I understand the frustration.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's where I am with the Black Biz Success app. The mission is to help Black people become the #1 employers of Black people, right? There's 2.5 million Black businesses in America. If they all just hired one person, right, that's 2.5 million people with jobs. But they got to be able to create the revenue to be able to pay a salary for one person. And we're working on a model to help them do just that. And let's talk about that for a minute, because it's about making a dollar and making a difference at the same time. And everything that you do is for the culture. Did you ever have any reservation about that? Like, hey, I'm just going to really seek to work and improve my community. Is that the pastor side of your parents who got you into activism?
No.
No.
I mentioned that my mother is Southern Apostolic, so you know what I mean. She's finally met me with a happy medium, and you feel me. She finally understands why I choose to fight and not always just pray. You know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
My faith got that work. You know.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna stay alive, but I would just say, honestly, it's the cultural difference in being Southern Black in Midwest Black, being, transplanted into Midwest Blackness, because it's so cold up here, professionally, personally. Like, I come from, you see the same person a million times, you say, good morning. You see him every day, you say, good morning. You say, good afternoon. Let me hold the door for you. No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's missing. Yeah. You say good morning, man. What's good about the morning? Why? Why are we like that? First of all, it's December. I love the Grinch, but you don't have to have that miserly spirit all year. You don't have to be like that. We definitely don't have to be like that with each other. We're fighting this same different facets of the battle. You could be the person carrying the artillery. You could be a shooter, but we all fighting the same war. Yeah. We do not need to be fighting each other.
Yeah. That's huge. That's huge. And I agree wholeheartedly. Another thing that I find, and this is why I gravitated towards you, is there's no particular way to fight your individual fight or battle, right? I think when it comes to me, don't have a problem with Christians and the way they choose to fight for the liberation of Black people. That's how you choose to fight. But I also don't want you to have a problem with me choosing to fight with financial literacy, economic empowerment, business development, entrepreneurship. We are seeking and pursuing wealth. I read a Facebook post, and I want your thoughts on this. It says, we have other cultures are building their heaven on earth, and they're giving us ours in the sky, and we got to wait for it, right? I'm fighting to have peace that surpasses all understanding on earth, not just when I get to heaven, right? So what can we do to help encourage those to continue to fight the way that they fight, but also don't hate on me the way that I fight? What are your thoughts on that?
I think, and this is just my personal opinion, religion took the place of, like, I don't want to say it like that. Sometimes telling people to mind their business is doing God's work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because my sin is not going to put you in heaven or hell.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
God is a God of love. He's a God of understanding. But the same God they preach about did smack some folks up and smack over some tables. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I want, if you want me to be more like him, I want to be more like all of him, because he laid hands too.
Yeah.
So, you know, he educated too. He fed people physically and spiritually too. He told us to pray, but he told us to fight too. And it's like I said, you said a peace that passes all understanding. My peace can pass your understanding. It's my peace to have. And that's where it comes in. Sometimes telling people to mind their business, you feel me? It's doing God's work. You feel me? Sometimes they're gonna be like, I'm gonna pray for you. That's cool, because I ain't have to lay hands on you today.
Love it. And we need that fire. And I think the other thing that we struggle with is, and that's a part of that, is celebrating the differences, right? We like to compare the differences and what makes us different. No, I'm going to celebrate. I'm not a feisty, fiery guy, but I can appreciate that in you. Like, I want to celebrate that. That's what makes you you. My wife is all of 4 feet 11 inches tall, but I'm telling you, she wants all the smoke, right? And I appreciate that in her, because that ain't my disposition. And I think we get so caught up in looking at our differences from a negative and a comparative standpoint versus an appreciation for, brother, I can appreciate you teaching people how to get money so that they can take that money and rebuild our community. Sis, I can appreciate you teaching people how to eat healthy, because if we're not taking care of our bodies, even if we had nice communities to live in, we're going to die anyway because we're eating a bunch of junk, right? So we got to learn how to celebrate our differences more than always comparing as if one is better than the other. No, we need all of these differences, these personalities, and the different aspects that make us who we are to come together to help fight this fight. So it is now time for my second favorite segment of the Cortez Hustle Show, a segment that we call Freestyle, D, because I know you got bars, sis. I know you got bars up there in Columbus, Ohio, where Bone Thugs and Harmony come from. I know you got bars. No, that's not what freestyle is. Freestyle is, as I'm building this billion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar international conglomerate known as I Hustle Media, I don't always ask the right questions, and the conversation doesn't always evolve to where we want it to go. So freestyle is the opportunity for you to either reiterate something that we talked about that you feel is real important that you want to say and reiterate, or for you to give us something that we have not talked about just yet that you feel is important that you want to get off your chest. So this is freestyle right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, the D. Willis version. Hit on with your best bars, sis.
Okay, well, I just want to state that Heavenly Host LLC is a personal and professional development firm, meaning I work for the people too. Sometimes people need help getting insurance or filling out applications with Job and Family Services. We help with that too. Your granny need a ride to her doctor's appointment. We help with that too. There's no limit on what we can do. If we can't do it, we can find somebody who can. Additionally, for businesses specifically, I also have the nonprofit called Minding Our Black Business the Right Way Incorporated. It's called the MOBB. But what we do is we find businesses that are like people that are aging out of businesses, like say construction workers. We got all of these general contractors who don't have the qualifications, but you can teach them and grandfather them in. And now you have a whole new workforce of construction workers. And we're starting at 16 and up, male, female. If we can employ our children, if we can teach them to be assets, you know, we won't have to worry about the liabilities trying to get to them.
Yeah.
So there's that. And hey, if you feeling a little under stress, you can get above the clouds with our travel agency, Heavenly Destinations. Yes, we do it all. And we don't do it all just to do it. We wanted to break into the business. What I can't facilitate, I have 3, 4, 5, 6 different travel agents from other agencies that I work with. They're in different states. I refer you to them for the better bargain. Like, I don't do cruises. I have somebody in Alabama that does cruises.
Yeah, I love that.
It's it's enough for us all to have something. And that's why our motto is, we set the table. All you have to do is eat. You pick your meal. We don't cook nothing up. Nope, but we got the ingredients you need to make something. You give us crumbs, we will turn it into a whole loaf.
Love it.
And we grow together. That is my freestyle. We grow together.
Boom, drop the mic on them. Bam. That is Freestyle right here with Dee Willis, founder and owner of Heavenly Host LLC. You dropped some jewels on us and that rant, and one of which is collaboration over competition, right? Who does that? I'm a travel agent, but if I can't serve you, I'm not just going to turn you away. I've got 6, 7 other agents in my fold. And I'm going to say, listen, man, I can get you something, but if you want the best at that, you need to go holler at my homegirl down in Alabama, right?
Exactly.
We need more of that, right?
Yes.
The other thing you said is that I love, especially because you brought up the trade, construction, and our contractors aging out. You know who else is aging out? Our farmers. They're aging out.
Let me get
out. They need young folks to come in and learn the trade, right? Learn the machinery, and I love what you do in that, hey, I can take the 16, the 17, the 18-year-old who's feeling like school ain't my deal. But one of the problems that I have in school is that if you don't have the motive to learn, I don't care what strategy you use to teach me, I ain't learning it because I have no motive. But if you put me on a tractor and this tractor breaks down frequently, and it's like, hey, bro, I got this mechanics class over here that, okay, now I have a motive because in my occupation, which I love to be on this tractor, I got a motive to learn how to keep this thing going. And I love that you said you're connecting the youth with aging out businesses. So we have one of the things that's missing is that transference of knowledge. That's huge, right? Where did that come from? What made you start that route?
Because as soon as I started my business, I started telling my son about it. It's like we having this thing in our community, and it's causing a lot of what we see now, that the old school want to blame the new school want to blame the old school, and I'm just a millennial stuck in the middle because I saw where all of us dropped the ball. The olders didn't. They told us to pray it away, and we learned that we could fight some things, you know. And it's hey, that's just a sign of the times. You know what I mean? Yeah. We're a more well learned. If you grew up in the 90s, everything was about getting you back to Blackness in its greatest form. You know, it was a combination of the 70s, the best stuff, not, you feel me, not the other, you know. But you know, it was a real, like, if Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud was a decade, the 90s was it. Yeah. You know, and just growing up in that, seeing that, I want that feeling back. I live life to get that 90s feeling of togetherness back. I felt so everywhere I went, you feel me, Black people smiled at each other. I saw the Million Man March, like that amount of togetherness blew my mind as a child. And it breaks my heart as an adult that we have yet to get back to that for something other than somebody getting slain on camera. Right. Yeah. Love it. Well, Dee, we definitely going to have you back, man. This was a wonderful conversation, and I love what you guys are doing. Tell everybody how they can get in touch with you if they need your services or they want to support, they want to make a donation to the nonprofit. How does that all work? Actually, it's odd, but I don't take donations at the moment. Okay. I would love volunteers though. Okay. I would love volunteers. If you want to reach me, I am linktree.com/hostess33. You can find my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, our Heavenly Host personal website. You can also find the Heavenly Destinations website. If you just want to get away, we do rental cars. Okay. And you said that's Heavenly 33? That's Hostess 33.
Hostess 33. All right.
Sir.
I'm going to grab that and put it in the comments for all of our beautiful people.
Hey, let them know you can't rebuild Black Wall Street if you don't buy black.
Yo, get them. You're certainly right about that. And that's what it's all about. You also have opportunities for other people to connect. Because the other thing that I like, you say, hey, you know, what do you got going on? I can post you on my website and we can create a connection in Missouri. I'm the first connection that you made in Missouri. I was like, oh, that's super dope. Again, that competition versus collaboration thing, man, we got to get rid of that. There's room for us to collaborate and for all of us to eat while we build. So I love that. So thank you so much for blessing us with your time and sharing with us your heart and the things that you got going on. We wish you all the best over at Heavenly Host LLC. I can't wait to see all the amazing things you got going on. Stick around for a minute as we close and we'll deepen our connection. So ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, you can join the Black Biz Success Mastermind by texting Mastermind to 314-866-4053. It is the premier mastermind for Black excellence and entrepreneurship. You do not want to miss it. We literally give away hundreds of dollars of free training and resources every single week. And it's just launched, so you actually got a chance to be one of the founding members and bring your voice to the table. We're on a mission to help Black people become the #1 employers of Black people within the next 2 generations. It's going down. You got the right one. And guess what? I found a partner in crime in Dees Willis. So we talk to you guys next time. I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it. Each and every single one of you. Now hustle up. But you've got to overcome fear if you're going to win.
You're tuned into the Cortez Hustle Show. Please like and subscribe.